Hey, housewives, come on in. You know the dirty dishes are still in the sink from yesterday and the laundry is still in the basket. Pop your AirPods in and make yourself at home here.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Tori.
And we are your Unlikely Housewives. Stepping out in faith and believing that God calls the unlikely, we are here to show you the appreciation and validation you deserve, lead you to authentic relationships, and release you of believing the cultural lies to restore your faith and wellness.
Pull up those high-waisted yoga pants, tighten your top knot, and reheat your coffee for the third time. Turn up the volume, and let's go. Hey, housewives.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. Oh my goodness. It is Maycember and we are here and you have 18 days to do 8,300 different activities, events, and parties.
Yep.
For your children.
Mm-hmm. It's worse than the holidays. That's why it's called Maycember.
And you do it without Jesus. There's that.
Right. Yeah, it's the end of the month. There's the presents and the family time and the celebration and the candlelight service. Like December ends with like tie a bow on it.
Yeah.
May is like Memorial Day. Okay, we can celebrate. There is that. Pool parties, barbecues. All right, that can be our celebration.
It can be, but it's something else when Jesus is there. You go,
for sure.
Oh, this is why we're doing it now. Yes. And may we have that little bit of a difference. But here we are, still unlikely and somehow still here.
Yeah, we are. We keep showing up.
We do.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah, but by God's grace, in all honesty.
For sure.
Let's talk about your voice, for example.
Oh, gosh. I came back for today.
Yes. And
was not here at all yesterday.
At all. You guys didn't hear the voice memo I got from her. I was like,
whisper.
That's not going to be good. But it did sound like she had picked up smoking, which in Maycember could totally be possible. So it was either that or drinking.
That would not be my vice of choice in this day and age.
Oh, drinking? Would drinking be more?
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
The nicotine and the appetite suppressant. I'm kind of okay with that. Isn't that why we all?
You have stories that you need to tell me.
No, I'm just saying that was like, skinny and smoking. Yeah. That was kind of the thing back in the 50s.
And the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because my kids, they'll smell somebody smoking right outside of a restaurant or whatever. And we walk in and they're like, who still smokes these days? It was a thing and it faded out. Now it's like everybody you pull up to and it looks like they're sucking their thumb when they're like vaping in their car.
And then you just look over and you're just like, I'm waiting.
We're not judging people. We all have our things. So we're just saying how it all changes.
But my thing doesn't have the possibility of exploding in my face. Have you read those stories where people, I'm like, how do you still even take that? I don't. No, thanks. But anyways.
Whatever your vice is.
Just go to God.
Yes, I was going to say, just minimize it.
And go to God.
And lean into Jesus.
But have you seen sitcoms or old shows where either they're smoking in a bar or a restaurant? Oh, yeah. And
I remember when that was.
I know. And my kids look at me and they're like,
ew.
What? They can do that? And I'm like, oh, you have no idea.
Yeah. Yep. Used to be able to eat around it.
Yeah. There were smoking sections, which still blows my mind.
Yep.
But then again, there were COVID and non-COVID sections too.
We never know what it's going to be.
It's done. So, all right. So here we are. We are wrapping up. We were just looking at the numbers and we have been recording since
December of 21. October of 21, releasing episodes December of 21.
Yes. And then, but the other thing too is this whole year, 2025, we recorded straight through.
Yeah.
Took a couple weeks off in August. Yeah. Because we did the You Are Not Alone for the One series.
Yeah. So we've been at it for almost 2 years consistently.
Yes.
Because we started in the fall of 24. And we didn't stop in 25 other than just August.
Right. Because we were making up because we started late in the fall of 24.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. And it clearly has flown by and it certainly hasn't felt burdensome, I don't think.
No.
To think that, wow, we've released this many episodes consistently.
Yeah.
So, but we wanted to take a moment and I wrote this down and hold on. I'm going to find my list. You talk while I find my list.
Okay. Well,
I can talk about all the things that we have said that we wanted to do that we didn't do. And we can talk about the things that we want to do in the fall that, are on the list of, what's it going to look like? I've been off of social media for a few years. Tori manages that, which is such a blessing, but it's extra work for her. I do the behind the scenes, the writing, the reviewing, the creating of the videos and the reels and things. But it's like we've got our spots, but it's going to look so different, hopefully moving forward, because we need to replace something and allow our podcast to serve in other spaces. Like we're growing really a lot on YouTube. And so, we're debating, what does that look like for the fall? We have said that we wanted to do this for over a year. We want to have an email campaign. There's things that we would love to do with the podcast, but hey, it's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Right.
And our fantastic editor. But
yes, and our fantastic editor. Shout out, Greg. Yeah. But also the fact that we have no money.
Yeah. Labor of love.
It is a labor of love. And so a lot of times we trade our time and we will record something, say something, and we're like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to be at my kids' tournament this weekend. Mm-hmm. This thing is just not going to come through. Or Tracy's got 3 graduations, a 5th grader, an 8th grader, and a senior. And so it's just like all of these great ideas. While yes, sitting in front of the microphone and recording and chatting and it being like a late night conversation between friends, this is for us the easy part.
Yeah.
And this is what we could do all day. And if this is all we had to do for this, then by all means.
Yep.
We
would be those people that do them like the next day something's released. I would totally show up here with my cup of coffee, chat about it, good old coffee talk.
I know.
It doesn't work like that in our world right now.
No, it doesn't.
Because there's too much of the extra that we have to do to put it out each week.
Right. Yeah. And I think that there's room for us to look at stuff that's just, okay, maybe, we just go, even y'all think we're unfiltered now. Can you imagine of us just going live? Because then that takes all the other stuff out of it too, which would be kind of amazing. So anyways, thoughts and things that we're considering for upcoming in 2026. But in the meantime, I did want to give an update for the numbers because I find this fascinating and maybe you guys do too. If not, that's fine.
Especially if you've been with us since the beginning.
Yes.
You can appreciate it.
Our most listened to episode for the One series, the first one was for the one who has a homosexual child and loves Jesus. The second most listened to was for the one who's burdened by a secret. Third was for the one who is grieving. And fourth, for the one who thinks marriage is hard.
And let me say on those 4, so this came out of we were wrapping up we kind of do it in seasons. August to May is a season. And then we were like, okay, we've done a couple, we did a summer series. So we thought, that's maybe what we were going to do when we started in the summer. We were just going to do for the one. And what happened is we realized how much of a need that not the topics, that umbrella of for the one. And it was for the specific person who has this issue. Because it's always been, we're going to record for one person. And if it blesses more or helps more or serves others, great. But we continue to think about the one who is struggling or who is lost or who needs more just encouragement. And for the one, God just kept introducing us to people. It was just an unfolding. And that is what started in June of last year. And it continued all the way through December. And that was when, and we kind of just closed that chapter. It just so happened that it worked, Mm-hmm. But it really was an incredible opportunity to meet some really neat people and hear their stories. And now they're out there for anybody who goes and is struggling and may search something. That episode would be there. So they're still really great. If you haven't listened to all those, go back and catch them. Yeah. Especially those top 4.
Definitely. The other thing that I thought was very interesting and very telling is the Unlikely Husbands episode. Is very popular. And it was our husbands when they were on the first time, which was broken down into a 2-part.
2-part, yeah.
Yeah. That was also a very popular episode or episodes. And so I just found that very fascinating that apparently people, our 47 listeners want to make sure that our husbands are not made up.
Yes, and that we're still happily married.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's all I can say about it. And we are. Not to each other.
Not us.
Not us. No. Mm-mm.
No, we've had our men on to prove that they exist.
That they exist, that they're real, and that this is not all made up.
Yes.
So you are welcome. Okay. So that being said, when you kind of have that backdrop, I think we should give ourselves a report card on what year 4 has been. Mm-hmm. So in 4 different topics. All right. How would you rate yourself, Tracy? We're going to go over housework, faith, friendships, and how well we actually handled life this year.
Ooh, who came up with that one?
Our third housewife. Now, okay, so for housekeeping, the general question is, are we actually doing the dishes every night or just very good at hiding them until the kids do it for us?
Well, first off, my kids would never do it for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, that is an order or a chore or a whatever. There's no, oh, mom, let me sign up to just serve you. Uh-huh. I mean, love them. They love me, but no, dishes is not one of those things.
No, it's not.
They will run errands for, my oldest, he'll run errands for me. That's good. The other one will babysit for me. You know, there's things that like they do, but dishes is not one of them.
Yeah.
As far as housekeeping goes, I don't get to weigh in on that. We moved in October. We had people in our house the entire year or entire winter. I mean, and our basement just finished like 2 weeks ago. So it's still unsettled. My whole house is still unsettled. So there's that.
Fair. Well, I have.
Is that why you vacuumed this morning? You wanted me to come in and think that you were like actually someone who cleans?
No, by all means, no. The reason I was vacuuming when she showed up, but that's simply because the dog fur tumbleweeds, I just gotten to be too much because in my house, if you don't vacuum at least once a day, there are tumbleweeds that just flow through the house, you know, as doors open and things like that. And you're like, wow, okay. As far as my dishes, I could take a snapshot right now and you can see my dishwasher says clean. It is clean, just needs to be emptied. And then also all the dishes in the sink are absolutely dirty. And I have decided to invest into more paper plates and plastic spoons and plastic bowls.
Well, if you live the season like I do, there's not many dishes between March and May because there's so much dang takeout because we are literally coming home from games at 8, 9 o'clock every freaking night.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then don't you just feel awful? Like I was talking to my oldest, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't cook. And she's like, it's okay, Mom. And I was like, I mean, I should. And she goes, I'm not going to cook either. And I was like, no, that's not the kind of response you should have when you grow up. You should. I want to cook. I was like, it's not something I enjoy. But you, and she goes, well, maybe your goal should be like, you know, a home cooked meal like once or twice a week. And I was like, it is. Like,
it is my goal. I just fail. I'm like, I seriously, June and July have got to be better.
I mean,
it's got to be.
She even suggested a meal that she doesn't even like that I can make once a week.
Oh, she's like, just a home cooked meal, please, Mom.
But I was just like, I mean, it's lasagna. And she goes, I know I don't like lasagna, but
Garrett begs me for lasagna. He freaking loves it. But you know how long it takes to prep that?
Oh, I can do it super fast.
Of course you can.
I can.
So if you do so well, why don't you make it?
Yeah, I know. I'll make 2 lasagnas, one for you, one for me.
Okay.
And then you do prep something and then you make it in that. Look, there are my 2 home cooked meals for the week.
I am good at a taco bar.
Okay. My family gets tacos all the time.
Yeah, so do we. That's so dang easy.
Yeah. So how are we doing in the spiritual life? That's the next one. Because are we actually praying or are we just really good at saying, I'll pray for that in the group text?
You answer first.
I will say I'll give myself a C+. Our group text has been more chatty lately. And so I have tried to get better at when people say like, hey, can you pray for this? Praying immediately. And then I'm also trying, there's been a couple of times where my mind just goes blank and then I'm like, oh yeah, I told so-and-so I'd pray for this. So then I immediately pray. And I'm trying to make it less of I don't need to just, have a Bible verse and pray for it. Just Lord, take care of this.
Yeah.
You know the thoughts, your will be done. And then, okay, so it's a 2 30-second prayer.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I'm a evening, like when I lay down and go to bed or before I read really is when I pray. But if it's a text and like we get a lot of those in our prayer warrior thread, I'll get those and I can stop immediately and absolutely pray. But when I'm like carpooling and doing different things and my mind is just not right, I will save the text like unread And then when I go to bed, that's when I do them.
Yep.
So I am much better about that than I ever used to be. And that is because obviously once you go through really hard seasons and you know the power of prayer, then you know that what that can be for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I make sure I never miss that opportunity to be praying for others. But as far as my spiritual life goes, otherwise, I literally have been failing in this season. And that is like the hardest part, is like knowing the time just hasn't existed, like from March till May.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do so good in the winter. There is not a morning that I miss, but like even just this morning, waking up, I started cooking at 6:30 this morning because I was prepping for teacher appreciation stuff. There's so much that like even my windows of time that I used to be having downtime, I'm filling it with like, got to cook this, got to prep that, got to wash this, got to do that, So I'm giving myself grace though, because clearly this is the busiest I've ever been in my life, March through May of this current year, doing all the things for my senior and the others. It's endless. The lists are endless right now.
Well, let me give you encouragement, because this is certainly not for me. So the Holy Spirit must have put it on my heart, but see that as you're serving others.
Yeah.
And by serving others, you're serving God.
Yes, it's very true.
So the fact that you're baking something, one, good for you for teacher appreciation. Here's my $5 or whatever.
I have a heart for the gluten-free mamas or women or men. I have anyone. You have teachers. I'm like,
gluten-free individuals.
When you see that on there, like the sign of genius, I'm like, I can do that. I'm a gluten-free. So
I think you are. You're serving. It's action items versus just
the sitting and being in the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go to joy and fun. How are you doing in joy and fun? Are you actually laughing? Or are we just really good at it in the group text or social media?
Well, we know I'm not faking anything on social media.
Yes, that's
true. We in our group text, I had shared something that I was going through really hard, like a couple weeks ago. And one of our friends popped in with Josiah Queen's song, Can't Steal My Joy. And that has been on repeat in my car almost every time I get in the car. I shared it with our whole family group chat. And it's like, just encourage the kids in this season of, hey, this is like, we're either at the fields in a drive-through, dragging ourselves in at late at night, or up early morning. I mean, everybody is just groggy. You can hear it in their voices and their attitudes. And, on May 1st, I'm like, this is what we need to focus on. The joy is in all these moments. These are the things that you're going to remember. The graduations, the fun with your friends, the wrapping up this, just all the things that are happening right now. So just focusing on the joy in that season or in this season, that has really helped, because I was getting in a place where I just kept getting so frustrated with just the emotional piece of the outside stuff that just I needed to ignore. And needed to realize that like, hey, I don't have control over that. This is what I have control over. And it's really helped. So, but we're having fun. We are doing our best at, laughing and sharing good, stories with the kids. And so it's been a good time too.
Good. Yeah. Good.
What about you?
I think I'm laughing. Most of the time it's at myself for just again, me putting my foot in my mouth or doing something stupid. But yeah, there's all sorts of, there's circumstances that you work through and that but I'm certainly not pretending. Let me put it that way. Yeah. I'm not pretending to be laughing about anything. I literally texted a friend, asked me like, hey, are you going to this? And I said, no. I said, I was trying to make it work, but couldn't. Just, but if you could pray for my mama heart right now, because Lord knows that I'm going to want to attack a grizzly bear at the moment. And she's like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, that right now I do. And so, but I'm not pretending. So I think that's at least a good half of that. So, but the joy is in the moments that the moments of finding and laugh and just finding people that are like, oh, like you got my back. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the most, not the unexpected places, but places that you were like, oh, I didn't know I needed you in this place to have my back. So, all right. So last one. Now, I think this one, I'm going to rate us both pretty high on this one, because this is relationships. Mm-hmm. And then are we actually showing up for our people, or are we just showing up for the group chat?
And we show up.
Mm-hmm.
Our group shows up.
And I think that's very that has been very evident for us this spring, I think, where God was like, we had this great idea of full transparency. We started this Bible study that we were doing for our daughters because in our little group, we all have daughters. And so we started off, we had dates on the calendar. We were going to meet and then our kids were going to meet and then we were going to do this with our girls. And it was all, woohoo, this is good. And then it quickly didn't fizzle out. It just transformed into something to where what the moms needed was different. Our girls still met and I still love the idea of all of our girls meeting. It is really cool to see the generations that we have of all of our girls.
There's still plenty of time. Summer.
Still plenty of time. Reach out to me in August.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
We are going good. Sure. But no, it just transformed. And so there were days where we were like, hey, we're supposed to meet, but instead of meeting and talking about this or doing this, we're going to actually help you come pack up your house.
Yeah.
And
or paint.
Or whatever. And so then but I would say that was really good learning lesson for us is that while we were like, we're going to spend time in the Word. Spending time in the Word turned into serving and loving on our friends well.
Yep.
So
that's good.
Okay. So that's overall, I give us a B. What would you give us?
No, I definitely a B.
Okay.
I'm no A. I'm not.
Nope. I'm not getting paid for A's anymore in school. So
exactly. I'm definitely a B student.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Shh, and don't tell E I ever said that. Okay. She's going to be like, well, you said it. I don't have to get A's. Okay. What do you think? What was the biggest mistake or mishap? Do you want to tackle that or the most emotional moment? Or the biggest laugh of the season?
Golly, I got to really think about that.
I know.
Should have thought about that before we were on the air.
Sure. This is why we can hit pause. A recording fail. I'll tell you guys that one. There's one episode I couldn't, it was with a guest. And I'm pretty sure the guest microphone was not on.
No, you didn't record on that. So we record in two places on our video.
Right, but it wasn't connected to the computer.
Well, it was the audio machine thing that you didn't have. You only had the audio of the computer.
Oh, that's right. So
these microphones didn't transfer to the computer. So the guest and I were over here and it was very, very weak. But our editor was able to work on it. But I can't remember what that one was. But that was an episode that we were like, do we have to record this? We're going to have to do this all over.
And with a guest, it was
that was a mishap. I don't even remember which one it was.
Yeah.
I remember an emotional one. I think that was more emotional on you, which we should point out.
Of course. You're going to bring out the emotional me. Yeah. Thanks.
And that was when we did the whole don't stop chasing things and be okay in your season. And that episode she should replay that because
I should.
Yeah. She's in the battle of the what am I doing and how am I chasing? And I'm not chasing, but I am. And, but in that she had emotion. So there's something there. So she's going to have to go back to that episode.
Basically, I don't have a heart of ice. So that's what I have to do. For all of you that want to make sure that I am a real person.
She is very real.
I don't have a heart of stone. That would be the episode.
Yeah, that would be the episode.
You go listen to that and then we'll check back next year for the next episode that has emotion. Okay. So then let's talk about this break. Bliss and what's next.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last episode for the next
probably 3-4 months.
Whoa, you threw out some big numbers. 4 months, like
June, July, August.
Okay. So that's okay. We'll be back.
We are coming back.
That
is a for certain.
We are coming back either end of August, beginning of September. So
I say beginning of September. I'm moving a kid to college.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah, but all right. But it's also a boy, it's not a girl. So you don't have all the dorm rooms.
No, don't rationalize. Just
I'm trying to rationalize.
No, it's going to be hard. It'll be probably September.
Okay.
I'm just laying it out there.
Fine. So all of you, I'll give you guys all her email and you can be like, hey, you going to come back? No, and I think that's something too, that speaking of, we are going to take the summer off again. I've got 2 that'll be in middle school and Tracy will have One in middle
college.
Yeah, one in college.
2 in high school, 1 in middle school.
Yep. And so there's the adjustment there and just enjoying the summer.
Yeah.
I think we're packing up our family and going to do a big long road trip at some point. And so I'm sure I will have stories to share with that after, or I'll be in prison. So it's, I'm hoping all of the family members come back, but I make no guarantees at this point.
Yeah. Well.
So there's that. Everything I say can and will be used against me in the court of law. So
she listens to a lot of true crime.
I do. I can probably recite the Miranda rights. But so we just want you to know that's what we're doing. And over that time too, we're going to be praying and seeing what God's got in store for the unlikely housewives. But it's clear to us that this is not a door that he wants to close yet. So
we're ready to celebrate 5 years.
Yes, 5 years
in December. What is the statistic of actually podcasts making it to 5 years? Oh, it's got to be so low.
It's got to be so low. But I can tell you less than 10% podcasts make it to 10 episodes.
Whoa. And we're at 165.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes. So right there, that's pretty, whoop, whoop, tooting my own horn there.
Yep.
Or our own horn. Okay. So then the last thing we wanted to talk to you guys about is what to do until then. Okay. So if you have loved this season, if you love, maybe this season hasn't been your favorite. Maybe last season was your favorite. That's fine too. But you can help us grow. And honestly, that would be a huge favor that we're asking for you. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast platform that you listen to, but also please go to YouTube and go to Rumble and hit subscribe. I know Rumble is probably something that not a whole lot of people have, but it is a great conservative video platform. And so there is a lot of like-minded individuals on that. And so for us to be on there and for people to find us that have the same traditional conservative values, that is a great place for you to just create an account. It's absolutely free. And then just hit subscribe. And that would be huge help for us. And then what else? What else can people do?
Well, I think the YouTube is probably where we really want to, see those subscribers go up. That's where we're really having incredible growth. And make sure that Tori's going to create a Google Doc. We're going to put it in our show notes. All it is just your name and your email address. And that is going to be the way that we can stay connected with you. We really do hope to get into more of we'll shoot out an email every week with our episode, just the info, just a quick, line. It's not going to be crazy. We're not going to bombard your inboxes, but if we do go off social media, it's a possibility, we don't know yet. Mainly that's just Facebook and Instagram. We do have some activity over there, but it's not a lot. That's not where podcasts grow. So we're trying to fuel our growth in the spaces that it does grow. And so when it's just us, we're trying to figure out, okay, where's that going to be? So we really want to make sure that we have your email because that's how we can let you know what's going on. So just go to the show notes, click on the Google Doc and sign up for that. And yeah, like Tori said, just pray for us. We do love this podcast. God gave us this, in 2020. We've poured our heart and soul into this every single week, some weeks more than others. Usually the winter is our really busiest time that we meet with guests and we batch record, and we really work hard to create a whole season worth of content. And we actually just got a couple emails this week, one of them being just a really great idea for an episode and was like, hey, I love your podcast. Have you guys ever considered this? We're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Let's chat. Don't even know if the woman wants to be on the podcast or if she just wants us to tackle it. But you guys, giving us content of what you want to hear is obviously the best way for us to feed you, feed your soul, feed your encouragement, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. That's what our goal is. So we want to be able to provide, the most up-to-date and best information that we can for our listeners. And yeah, so just share some words of advice. We'll take it.
Yes, please. Because that's how we got started on the topic. It was the stuff that we're struggling with. Mm-hmm. And so we knew that we weren't the only ones. And so essentially, yes, absolutely. We would love, send us your feedback, write a review if you have loved this season on podcasts, Apple or Spotify. Make comments on our YouTube channels, Rumble channels, and share. Yeah. Honestly, share this episode, our show with one friend, just one friend who feels like they're doing it all wrong, but they're actually just being human and just being a mom and a wife and just
showing up.
And so we could not do this without you. We always joke that it's the 47 listeners. And to you, we absolutely adore you. And there are more than 47 listeners, and that's by the grace of God. And we are incredibly thankful, because if there was no one listening, then
we wouldn't have made it 165 episodes.
Yeah. And
we would have gave up a long time ago.
Yeah. And 4.5 years later. So that is it. And so, just share this episode, go back, play some of the other ones that you catch up on the stuff that over the summer, email us some ideas, subscribe, and we will see you in the fall.
All right. Until next time, guys.
Until next time. Bye.
Whether we made you laugh or cry today, we pray you feel appreciated, bolder and braver than yesterday, stronger and more faithful for tomorrow, and living in who you were made to be today.
Join our online community on Facebook, link in the show notes, and be sure to review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you enjoy listening. Until next time, housewives, we give you permission to walk confidently, free, and to be intentional in your slippers or stilettos.